kuweza kusahaulika.
Sasa tumeingia ndani ya club sana, tuzikwende, nasikia kuzitoka.
Live from the broadcasting house in the county of Nairobi, this is KBC Lunchtime News. Many thanks indeed for joining us. Hope you're having a blessed Sunday afternoon. My name is Njue. Byron Abuli will be our sign language interpreter for this live newscast. Welcome to a comprehensive and detailed coverage of the day's events, and later on we blow the whistle and revisit matters sports. We begin where Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has directed Azimio coalition members of parliament to occupy majority seats when they resume sittings in the National Assembly on Tuesday. Musyoka said it was now clear that Kenya Kwanza constitution does not have a majority in parliament, and Azimio must take over their rightful position in parliament after the three-judge bench ruling.
Kalonzo Musyoka and Isala appear buoyed by the ruling that Azimio has a majority in parliament.
Tuesday, muende mukae mahali ya majority in the National Assembly. Because mahakama imesema hawa jamaa walinyakua, yani wakafanya artificial majority, na wamepatikana kwanza mchana na mahakama. Hakimu watatu wakatoa uamuzi kwamba the majority sio Kenya Kwanza, majority ni Azimio coalition. Kwa hivyo Jumatano pia tutaitisha kikao na wabunge wetu wote ndio tuchukue msimamo.
Kalonzo spoke in Magarini after opening a Wiper Party office at Kwandomo, where he is spearheading mass registration of party members and campaigning for his 2027 presidential bid. However, a section of Kenya Kwanza leaders in Baringo have downplayed the impact of the court ruling.
And by the way, for the avoidance of doubt, if you have seen one about some court saying that Wetangula is not a speaker at the Eugene, what do you call the other one? Junet. Ichungwa is not a majority leader. Hizo ni kaya za bunwas.
Hiyo ruling ya jana ambayo mlisikia, the ruling that was delivered by the judges of Kenya, yes, it is the correct ruling. It is justice. At that time of 2022, when we were opening parliament, the 13th parliament, that was right at that time. But after that, this ruling is overtaken by events.
The opposition appears keen on banking on the ruling and swaying support ahead of the general elections. The Machakos governor pushed for the politics of reciprocity.
Unajua sisi kama jamii ya Wakamba tumesupport baba sana. Miaka 15. 15 years. Tukiwa nyuma yenu. Na hiyo miaka 15 Raila alipata kura mingi hata kushinda, and I can give you the figures because I have them, hata kushinda constituencies zingine za hapa Ujaluoni.
As the governor rallied the Nyanza region behind the Wiper Party leader, a section of politicians earlier to Ford Kenya dismissed the possibility of the party folding to join UDA.
Kenya is our heritage. Ford Kenya is our origin. Ford Kenya is the oasis of democracy in this country. And if anyone will ever imagine that Ford Kenya will fold, they will begin by folding themselves before Ford Kenya folds. So on behalf of Ford Kenya, on behalf of the people of Republic of Kenya, and the four founders of democracy in this country, Ford Kenya is there, and the party leader is none other than Daktari Moses Masika Wetangula.
Meanwhile, Somali elders in Isiolo have called for respect for the head of state.
Vijana ambaye ni walevi, watu ambaye hata saa ingine ukiangalia wengine hata si watu ya Isiolo, ni saa ingine watu kutoka mbali mbali wamefanya tabia ambaye hatukufurahia. Sasa kama mimi mzee Sharif ambaye mwenyekiti wa Somali, nasema pole sana rais yetu, pole sana. Kutereza si kuanguka. Waswahili nasema kutereza si kuanguka, ni makosa imefanyika na lazima tutarekebisha.
The elders urge the youth to avoid being used for selfish political ends. Tilio Marco for Lunchtime News.
Away from politics, Internal Security Principal Secretary Dr. Raymond Omolo has urged politicians to refrain from using public gathering for political grandstanding, warning that mobilizing supporters along political lines undermines democracy and fosters unnecessary divisions. Speaking in the Homa Bay County, Omolo also reiterated the government's commitment to supporting education initiatives in the area, highlighting efforts to enhance learning opportunities for local students. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Badi, on his side, said Raila Odinga's bid for the chairmanship of the Africa Union Commission has a strong backing across the continent.
We will not condone any leadership that entertains violence. We have a democracy. Everybody has a right to speak and canvass for support without any coercion, without any intimidation, so that we make a difference, so that all the young men and ladies who are here today, and all the kids and all the students can look up to us, so that they can also be one, or in one day be leaders like we are today.
It is our hope and prayer that when the elections will be conducted in Ethiopia, Raila will come out the winner and lead this continent, and lead this continent with the ideas of Pan-Africanism.
The Nyanza International Investment Conference has ended with a rallying call for counties to continue an environment conducive to business growth. Investors said tedious and expensive legal hurdles need to be shortened or eliminated.
Big deals were signed on the sidelines of the Nyanza International Investment Conference in Kisumu City. Some of the agreements are targeting the cottage industry.
Today we've signed this MOU, so the public can hold us to account. But myself and Her Excellency, we are committed to ensure this works.
And therefore the county government is very keen in promoting edible oil so that we can be able to get a portion of the money that is going out in terms of importing the edible oil.
At the close of the three-day conference, counties were challenged to pave the way for investors by removing bureaucratic barriers that hinder the setting up of businesses.
The first thing is that as a government, we must make sure that we create an enabling environment for business people to do their business.
They should be more open to license upcoming factories so that it can be easier for the investors to create even more employment.
The inaugural conference provided a platform for startups to showcase their products and services.
So our factory has managed to at least provide employment for the youth who have struggled with unemployment.
Counties bordering Nyanza welcomed the move by the president to shorten the process of acquiring national identity cards, saying it will enfranchise communities.
Na mkitaka kujua hii shida ya kunyang'anywa uraia kwa kukosa kuwa na kitambulisho, saa ingine hata angalia katika eneo za majirani. Ile migogoro unapata kule ni ile watu wanaambiwa kwamba wewe sio raia kwa sababu haujatambulika.
The Nyanza Investment Conference identified 9 key opportunities, key among them agriculture, the blue economy, and tourism.
We'll also be providing insurance through our bank assurance agency, because I think that is very critical, that those involved in artisanal mining are actually able to protect themselves and their income.
With the Devolution Conference set for a return to the region this year, stakeholders are hoping to use it as another platform to springboard the region to greater economic heights. For Lunchtime News, I am Edward Kabasa.
Elsewhere, a section of religious and community leaders from Tana River County have called on the county government to formulate a policy to aid people with disabilities in the region in an effort to improve their living standards. Speaking during a food and medical aid distribution event in Tarasa Town, Tana River County, the leaders emphasized that people with disabilities have rights to and should not be discriminated in any way.
It is about giving them hope, giving also their families hope and support, because some of them cannot do anything for themselves. They have to be helped by parents or guardians.
Na ningeopa serikali yetu wa county kama kuna chochote ambao wanaweza kuwasaidia ili wale wenzetu ambao wanaishi na hali mbalimbali waweze kusaidika, ili wapate masomo na pia wapate haki zao.
Kwa sababu watoto wengi wanaweka majumbani, wanawaficha, na ningependa kuwatangazia wazazi ya kwamba mtoto hata kama ana ulemavu aina gani, ni ulemavu ni vile Mungu alivyomuumba, na Mungu anajua ni kwa nini amemuumba yule mtoto.
Disability is not inability. Like you just have to find something to do to make your life better.
Moving on, Royal Priest College of Divinity and Humanity has awarded over 30 individuals who have made exemplary contribution to the community in different fields across the 47 counties. Speaking during the 7th graduation ceremony held in Nairobi County, the institution's executive director, Apostle Dr. Remnant Jackson, challenged the recipients to continue with service to humanity and educate the younger generation on the importance of giving back to the community. Among those awarded were the Speaker of Kisumu County Assembly, Dr. Elisha Jack Oraro, who received an honorary doctorate.
Therefore, the royal priests want to look up to them, that they will go out there and maintain the honor that has been bestowed on them, conferred on them. We want to ensure that they will go and serve their communities well, because they have become role models. And that is what the challenge we are throwing to them right now.
I pay school fee to a number of students in secondary school. I also support widows. I've done a lot of buildings for those who are vulnerable, widows who are vulnerable and do not have houses in the village. So I believe I deserve this based on my governance and leadership skills.
I know I deserve this because I've touched life before in a society. I've worked with so many organizations and I've extended humanitarian work to up to ground level.
Very well, at about 13 minutes past the top of the hour, we are due for a break. But when we come back, we still have more news, and later on I will tell you all about how Chelsea was knocked out of the FA Cup last night.
Karibuni, hii ndio bezi ya the best local entertainment.
Sitakubali ukalie kiti cha umiliki katika kampuni ya mume wangu.
Tell me where my money is and I'll make this quick and painless.
You don't know what they do to girls like you.
I think it's a little unfair. Na kujua vizuri sana. Na najua mdosi wangu vizuri sana. Hauwezi akakuandika kazi. No.
The World Cancer Day 2025 theme is United by Unique. This, of course, emphasizes on the importance of a people-centered approach to cancer care.
We provide all these other enabling, if you want, services and therapies that enable, empower, and build resilience in the patients, in their families, and their caregivers, and their loved ones to go through the journey.
I remember we went home and my husband asked me, so what did the doctor say? Because he had to go for a certain meeting. He says, I have cancer. He went into shock. He's the one who went into shock, not me.
I think it's important when the patient, not just the family,
yes,
the patient is made to understand what their body is going to go through, so that they are able to say, okay, I am ready to take this up.
It is easier to get somebody who's been through that situation. We have, through Faraja, I came to know about Cancer Survivors Association of Kenya, where all of us are in the same pot.
Welcome back to KBC Lunchtime News. Moving on, political advisor to the office of the President, Karisa Nzai, has expressed his commitment to ensuring that unity thrives among communities residing in Mombasa and the coastal region. Speaking during the launch of Mombasa Kalenjin Toloita Welfare at Chuda Pastoral, Nzai called on leaders across the region to embrace unity and work towards ensuring that Kenyans benefit from the development projects initiated by the government, and urged residents to shun leaders spreading tribalism on every platform they are invited to.
Hii nchi iko na vitu vingi ambavyo tunaweza kupata sote. Tukiwa tumegawanyika hatuwezi kupata. Lakini tukiwa tutakuwa pamoja, tunawalaani na tunawachukia wale wote ambao wanataka kugawanya hii nchi. Jinsi ya kikabila wanaungana kwa misingi ya kuona kwamba wao wanakuwa bora kushinda wengine, hao tunawakataa. Tunataka watu wa kushirikiana. Mugiriama anamwempress Mkalenjin, yule Muluya, yule wa kutoka pande gani na wale wengine. Kama hawa ndugu zangu wameweka huu kama mfano, wale wengine tena wanapaswa kuiga.
Tumejiuliza kama Kalenjin saba Mombasa, kama rais anaweza fight mwenyewe kama mtu binafsi. Sisi wenye tumekaa hapa Mombasa miaka 20 and we are not doing anything. We need to be united. We took it from there and we challenged ourselves that if we can do it alone and lead the country the way it's now leading, what can we do ourselves to assist him in building this nation? Because his agenda is for everybody and the country should learn this.
Tafadhali ninawaomba, hii Kenya yetu ni nzuri sana. Tuilinde nchi yetu, tukae na majirani wetu kwa amani, tukae pamoja, tugawe yale yako, na zaidi ya yote to support president ambaye Mungu ametupa kwa wakati huu. Hatuna president mwingine, ni William Samoei Ruto.
Ile jambo la muhimu ni kwamba wakati umehamia kila mahali Kenya hii, jaribu wesalo kufanya kazi na wananchi wa area hiyo. Jaribu pia ufanye kazi na viongozi wa area hiyo, ndio maisha ikuwe rahisi, kwa sababu sisi zote lazima tushikane kama Wakenya na tufanye kazi kama Wakenya.
Nyinyi ni watu wa pwani hapa, na kama mmefika hapa, mukate kura yenu hapa, mupige kura ya MCA hapa, mupige kura ya mjumbe hapa, mupige kura ya senator na governor, ndio muweze kuingiana na jamii zingine. Lakini kama mutafanya association yenye mnalonja hapa Mombasa, lakini ikifika wakati wa kura mnatoroka nyumbani, hamutasaidika. So ningewaomba mshikane na viongozi wa Mombasa hii.
In other news, President William Ruto is among world leaders who have mourned Namibia's founding president Sam Nujoma, who died on Saturday at the age of 95. His death was announced by President Nagolo Mbuba. Nujoma was president since independence in 1990 until he stepped down in the year 2005. He is survived by his wife Kovambo Nujoma and 2 sons.
Through his X account, President William Ruto stood in solidarity with the people of Namibia following the demise of their founding president Sam Nujoma. President Ruto mourning the leader he called an African hero, selfless, courageous and visionary who dedicated his life to the liberation and development of his country. His sentiments echoed by his Tanzanian counterpart Samia Suluhu Hassan, who called the former head of state a freedom fighter, a Pan-Africanist and a dear friend of Tanzania, where he once lived during the struggle for Namibia's independence. Born on the 12th of May 1929, Nujoma was revered in his homeland as a charismatic father figure who steered his country to democracy and stability after a long colonial rule by Germany and a bitter war of independence from South Africa. He spent nearly 30 years in exile as the leader of its independence movement, Wambaland People's Organization, and a forerunner of the Southwest People's Organization, which later founded before returning to be elected the country's first democratic leader in 1990. Many Namibians credited Nujoma's leadership for initiating national healing and reconciliation after the deep divisions caused by the Independence War and South Africa's policies of dividing the country into ethnically based regional governments with separate education and healthcare for each race. His death was announced Sunday by current Namibian President Nangolo Mbumba. Mbumba said Nujoma died on Saturday night after being hospitalized in the capital, Windhoek. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now, civil society organizations, activists and other stakeholders have called for a multi-pronged approach in the fight against female genital mutilation, FGM, in the country. Speaking during a stakeholders meeting in Kisii County, the Kenya Country Director, International Solidarity Foundation, Irenaeus Kombe, revealed that female genital mutilation is still prevalent in Gusii, Samburu and West Pokot regions. The forum underscored the need to uphold the dignity of all persons, irrespective of their gender identity or orientation, and ensure that no one is subjected to mutilation under any circumstance.
The existence of intersex persons, and to make sure that we support them and tell our parents, our doctors and our community that intersex genital mutilation is not supposed to be done to these children. Allow them to be the way they are until they can be able to make their own decisions.
We are in the process of developing the policies that's customizing from national government, which will support us so that we all responsible for those perpetrators, the parents who have not accepted that girls are not supposed to be cut.
Together we can work and consulted efforts towards eradication of FGM. So we urge everyone, however small their effort is, however small their input is towards this journey, together we can make a very strong team.
And farmers in Gatundu South constituency, Kiambu County, are set to benefit from a move by the government to revive the stalled multi-million shillings Rwabura irrigation project that had been established to enhance food security in the country. The irrigation project, funded by the Ministry of Agriculture through the National Irrigation Board, had also been expected to boost farming of horticulture and subsistence food crops. However, it failed to take off following landslides during the heavy rains in April of 2024.
Unfortunately, upon commissioning, project haikuanza kwa sababu of landslides and mudslides that happened in the forest. I think we have more than 3 sections affecting about 150 to 200 meters of the pipe, and it is a serious damage. We have requested the contractor, as per contract documents, to remedy the defects as soon as possible. However, because of transportation issues bringing this material inside the forest, and this is a very, very steep climb, we expect this will take some time, 2 to 3 months.
Tuko tayari kuendelea kulima. Tafadhali serikali, kujeni mtusaidie ndiposa tuendelee kulima. Huku tunakusa pineapples, tunakusa avocados na pia hata hizi chakula cha export tuko tayari kulima.
The Ilchamus community living in Baringo South in Baringo County have decried continued marginalization in terms of development and representation at the national level. Former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commissioner Thomas Letangule noted that a court ruling in 2004 that granted the community their constituency is yet to be implemented. Boundaries dispute with neighboring communities have derailed implementation, and a legal petition has been filed to stop the creation of Ilchamus sub-county. He was speaking during the burial ceremony of Roda Leiro in Lingarua, Baringo South.
Peana memorandum kwa hiyo kikao ya Kalonzo na Ichung'wa, na bado tuko na court order, na bado hii sub county tulipata mheshimiwa, tuko kotini saa hii. Mimi nawakilisha hapa Kabarnet, tumepelekwa na jirani zetu kusema ati mpaka yetu isifike huko Mkutani. Yani tunakandamizwa kila pahali.
I will ensure kwamba nitasukuma pale bunge mpaka Ilchamus ipate their constituents.
Now, friends, family, former colleagues and fans of legendary broadcast journalist Leonard Mambo Mbotela have continued to pay their tribute, remembering him as a media icon who upheld strong moral values in the society. Former colleagues here described him as a humble man who mentored many. His fans urged journalists to follow in Mambo Mbotela's footsteps, noting how he set a high standard in the industry with his 6-decade-long broadcasting career. Mbotela, best known for his iconic Njue, Huu Ni Ungwana radio and television programs, died on Friday.
Leonard Mambo Mbotela, to me, was a friend. And to me, he was Njue. Because that's the first time when I met him at KBC and then VOK, the first time I said hello to him, he did not even know who I was. I said, hey, Njue, Njue, you know. And from that time, I've never called him Mambo. I've always called him Njue.
And of course, he was an established radio host. And I was a greenhorn just getting into radio. So I used to look up to him, and we established a nice relationship. So I was the little guy carrying, the microphones and a few other things for my brother here, Leonard Mambo Mbotela. And as I grew into the industry, then we started looking at each other as more or less colleagues.
I was growing up, there was this phrase, Njue, Huu Ni Ungwana, and it was encouraging people to do things that are making sense in the society. So you'll be really missed. And for the journalists that are remaining behind, please emulate the example of Leonard Mambo Mbotela.
Alikuwa mtangazaji maalum wa mpira. Sasa tunamkumbuka yule aliyetuacha Kadenge. Sasa alikuwa Kadenge na mpira ukawa mwingi na ukatoka nje. Nami sikuwa najua mpira kuwa mwingi ni aje.
I feel like a legend has left the profession, and I feel like there are lessons to be learned from what he did, so that we can continue raising journalists who are full of integrity in this country.
And before I read this sports article, we can't re-emphasize how Mambo really shaped up journalist career. I remember in primary school picking up newspapers, old newspapers, and trying to imitate his voice. And of course, when you heard him commentate soccer, you were really in that field on radio. But let's now shift gears to matters sports, where Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca has admitted that Chelsea missed Nicholas Jackson up front in their FA Cup fourth-round exit to Brighton. But the club does not regret letting attacker Joao Felix leave. Maresca's side had one shot on target in the 2-1 loss, which came in the 4th minute, with Jackson missing the game through injury.
His own net by Verbruggen. It's a horror moment. This is Lamptey. Get the way again by Shalabar. Sanchez was coming to catch that, but Shalabar felt that he could do the job himself, and a great reply by Brighton. They're level, and it's that man, Njue with a goal. 1-1. Here's Lamptey. Good block by Caicedo. But it's Mitoma with a chance, and Mitoma with a wonderful finish, and Brighton take the lead. Wonderful touch by Mitoma.
This is Godot. Had to just step back to retrieve it. Looks for Sessegnon, and that's another lovely cross, and Muniz is there, and Fulham are in front. What a delightful ball to find Rodrigo Muniz. So often a source of goals off the bench for Fulham. A bit of frustration starting to creep in for Wigan. That's a good ball by Robinson. It took a glancing touch off Adiko. Johnny Smith to go for goal! What a goal that is! A bolt from the Wigan blue!
What you can predict is the fact that when it's 1-0, there's always a chance.
Muniz could be in here, and Fulham are back in front. Well, there's a response for you. Second of the game for Rodrigo Muniz.
Wigan start skipping any sort of chance for them to stay up. Solomonic going forward takes on one too many, and then the clearance is poor. Can Southampton pounce? Gladkey recovers, Dibbling with the effort, cleared away by Worrell. Now it's with Sarmiento.
And just a quick one, in today's matches, that is the FA, the Premier League resumes next weekend. We will be having the likes of Liverpool, Aston Villa playing Tottenham, Plymouth playing Liverpool, and Blackburn Rovers playing Wolverhampton Wanderers. Of course, you can keep in touch with KBC, even on our social media spaces, for the goals, the sights, and the sounds. Indeed, that's how we wrap up KBC Lunchtime News this Sunday. Many thanks indeed for joining us. My name is Njue. Byron Abuli has been our sign language interpreter for this live newscast. On behalf of everyone who has made this broadcast a success, including my director, Joan Musembi, I wish you a blessed Sunday afternoon and week ahead.
Ima na wendo mwingi tugikuthokia Embu County, the land of opportunities. Kambunene ya Ngemi FM mushi worata.
Twegagure na kamwetha kama viumeto. Muroro kiande tukunye maire na murori tuthie thokore besa mivukore cha
manje makiyara uranje mure cieto cia thitima na ronje ruwa